Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Introduction to Computer Science, week number 7. I am sharing, uh, this is the lecture video, and I'm sharing the Blackboard week number 7 screen with you. And as usual, here's a list of objectives in detail, and here's a course instructional material. I've uploaded the lesson plan, and the lecture video will be posted here afterwards. And then following is the set of assignments. There are 3 assignments. I'm assigning a set of questions from the textbook. I'll come back and talk a little bit more about this. And then there's a chapter, a few sections from the Zai book, and the lab assignment, a programming lab assignment. So if you come back to the instructional material and download this, you should get the lesson plan that I'm sharing here with you. So this is a pretty detailed assignment, detailed lesson plan. But before I forget, starting last week, week number 6, all of the items are due at the on the last day of the term, which is March 13th, which is next week. So just keep that in mind. And if there is any overdue or past due items that you need to turn in, just email me and let me know. I'm not a very stickler with due dates. Those are just guidelines that I want to use to get the class moving along. But if you had some challenges or whatever, you can just ask me that you need to work on, or you want to work on them, and work it out. So anyway, so in terms of the administrative items, like I kind of implied, this is we're almost done with the term. This is week number 7, so you have just one more week to go. So that means, if there's any, it means for you to look at your grade book and make sure that everything is up to date. And if there's some items that you need to catch up, then by all means do so. I mentioned to you about the Saturday, March 13th due date. That's because I need to process the grades and be able to submit to the registrar's office on Monday, and your grade should be available for viewing on Blackboard or on your student portal, probably a little bit after lunch on March 16th. Okay, we'll be covering chapter 7 and 8 this week from the textbook, artificial intelligence and network. This is sort of getting ready for next course, especially if you are a comp sci major. There'll be sections that are concentrated on these things. And then one chapter, small section within that chapter about searching. So we'll be talking about that. There's a little more detail about the assignments from the textbook. I'll come back and visit them. But let me say a little bit about and then I'll talk a little bit about the searching here. See, here's some stuff. Let me talk about the assignments and then come back and do those things. So in terms of the assignment from the Zai book, okay, so that's the first one, I guess. So I will, let me go over to the Zai book. Put this guy over here. And that's the chapter 16. So here's chapter 16. I came here directly rather than from the Blackboard so that I can navigate and show you everything that you need to see. So here's a lot more sections that are available for you if you wanted to try out. There's other kinds of sorts that you may be interested, but I'm assigning section 1, searching and algorithm, and then the binary search and the sorting introduction. Okay, so if you go into the search algorithm, searching is very popular and used a lot because you want to be able to find things such as your student ID, your bank account, stuff like that. So we need to be able to find a variety of things. and there are lots of algorithms that are written and available for us to use. So one example is that there's a linear search. Algorithm is a sequence of steps accomplishing a task. Linear search is an algorithm that starts from the beginning of the list and then checks for each item until the end of the file, or if your search is found, right? So this is one easy way of finding things, but this becomes a problem, especially if the list is long, and so it's just not a very efficient way of searching, right? But here's a little bit better one called a binary search. Binary search is kind of like the way you play your guessing number game. You ask a person, guess a number between 1 and 100. You don't say, is it 1, is it 2, like that, but you kind of divide in half every time you ask, right? So is it greater than 50? And then you knock off the 50 right away. You don't have to check them because they don't qualify. And then you ask, is it between, let's say, is it greater than 75? Then you knock out the other, whatever the other half is. So within few questions or elections, you are able to narrow down really quick. So binary search is a little bit faster, but there are some requirements, right? The binary search need to be sorted in some way, because if they're not sorted, then it just wouldn't work, right? So and then let's go back to and then there are other searches, like I mentioned here. There's that you can try. There's quick sort, and there's bubble sort and stuff. All that you can look around. But anyway, here's a sorting one. A function, I should say. So sorting is sort of sometimes necessary, not because you have nothing better to do, but sorting is necessary in order to improve the search process, and you want to be able to do other processings maybe easier, quicker, and maybe build some sort of a dashboard accordingly. So sorting used to be really hard, a long time ago. But we, back in the old days, when we took assembly language, we had to actually write the code for sorting. But now, especially for the Python, you have a function called sort, and it'll sort for you. I mean, it's a one-liner, right? So if you have a list of items, like something like that, you can just say sort, and it'll sort that. In ascending order, or we can even do it reverse order, but whatever. So sorting is a really easy, but I want you to be able to try some of these. Okay, so should be pretty straightforward, and pretty fun. So do that. In terms of the assignment from the textbook, so let's go over to the textbook chapter 7. So let's see if this can be a little bit bigger. But here's the chapter 7, artificial intelligence, and you can kind of go to the thinking machines, and it kind of goes over some of the concepts. It's a little bit dated, but I think the basic concept is pretty still ongoing and important. So take a look at them. There are some important concepts that I'd like you to be aware. So I'm assigning some of the questions here. I even give you the page number and for you to do it. But read about what the Turing test is and semantic network is, and what a search tree is. And I also give you a video where they give you a pretty good job of showing you using diagrams and stuff like that. So hopefully there'll be a useful concept, and hopefully you get to take some of the AI classes in the future. For the networks chapter 8, let's see, this is on page 217. Let's see if we can go to 217. It's not exactly the right one. Maybe it's, there you go, 215, I should say. Maybe I should update this to, actually, yeah, but whatever. So this is an important a topic in computer science, and you have to take some of those classes anyway. But there are basic topographies that you should be aware of, and what a packet switching is, and why we use them. When you're sending some message, you don't send the whole entire message, but you break them into small parts, and then you send them across the network, and they get switched around, and and they travel all different places. But at the end, they get all come together, and you need to assemble them together, and then and make it a original a message. That's a lot more efficient than sending one of them, and be able to kind of understand different strategies for that. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Let's see. There are a few other just the terms that I'm going to ask you. I even gave you some page numbers. So a blockchain is a very hot topic nowadays. So take a look at that and give a quick, brief response to it. Maybe more hands-on in terms of the lab assignment is I'm asking you to write a program, basically to put into practice of what you learned from the Zybook. So how to so let me blow this up a little bit here. So the typical IPO chart here: input, accept a series of numbers from a user. Ask the user which way to sort the number, either ascending or descending order, and then actually sort accordingly, and then display the result. Right. So you can try different ways. You don't have to do it in any particular model or any efficient ways, but I want you to be able to just do them and then see if you can improve it if you like, right? So you can just try this here. There's a tutorial website that you can go to, but let me see if I can copy this guy here. Maybe go over to, maybe I'll open up another, and then let's see here, paste it up, and let's see here. So this one is kind of nice because it is going to start with the number list with nothing, but it's going to ask the user how many numbers you want to put in, right? So this is sort of a fixed. You can make it variable if you want to do that. That's all good too. But let's say I want to input 5 numbers, and then it's going to ask you a value of number 1. I'm just going to 1, 10, 30, maybe 5, and a 2, right? So now if you press return, it sorts it, right, using the for loop, and then it's going to sort them, right? So this is just a accepting the numbers, right? But sorting the number list is just one line, just sorts them, and the default value is the ascending order, and spits out the number, gives a little message, and then the number list that is being sorted, which is 1 to 5, 10, and 30, right? So just give that a try, and then let's see, there should be some other ones. Here is, let's see, I think I may want to put in, here we go. So if you try this guy here, let me see before I forget. Oh, I put it here, so you can just try them, right? So it's right in the lesson plan. But if you, so you're starting out with the location. You can actually, ask the user to put them in, just like the other example over here. You can just start with a blank, and you can use a for loop to put them into the place. But let's just say, just for the sake of presentation here, you got one of these. So you can just sort them. And so original, if you want to just print that out, it puts it out. If you want to put them in alphabetical order, it does that, right? And then it puts the original back out here. But if you wanted to do a reverse, you can do a reverse is true, right? After you sort it, in the sorted parameter of not only, so when you're doing the sorted function, you provide the name of the list, but you can also provide a attribute of reverse is true, then it'll give the backwards, right? So instead of this way, original way, let's see here, here's the original way, it's giving the exactly the opposite way. So you can try different things here. I put it in the lesson plan for you and see how that works out yourself. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for this week. So I will try to put up the week number 8 soon, so that you don't have to wait for next week. But let's just look at just as a recap for some of the things that I wanted you to be aware of. Here's a lesson plan. I don't need to update that anymore, but I will update the lecture video. Here's the textbook assignments and Azai book assignment and the lab assignments. Okay, so hopefully that's it. If there are any questions, let me know. And otherwise, have a good week. Stay safe, and let's finish this strong. And as always, if you have any questions, just let me know. Look forward to receiving your work. Take care. Bye-bye.